And these are my fellow time travelers.
I'm Rina.
I'm Rokawa. And we are the Time Traveling Trio! Let's not forget Liana, the friendly librarian.
Hi everyone, I'm Liana. Are all of you ready for a great adventure? In this series, we'll be doing what time travelers do best, going on an epic excursion through time and taking a peek at life in Singapore back then. So let's jump right in.
Wow! This classroom looks so different. The tables and chairs are made of wood.
I have such fond memories of school, and school is such a big part of growing up. And that's why today's episode is School! So what do you guys like most about school?
I can see all my friends in school.
I like PE and I also like to see my friends at school.
I like go to my shop.
To the bookshop? That's so much fun. So speaking of schools, what's a classroom without a teacher? Today, we've invited a very special guest who teaches slightly older students. He's a professor at the Nanyang Technological University. Let's welcome Mr. Walid!
Hello everybody. Thank you for the warm welcome.
How does it feel to be in this
Yeah,
classroom?
it's good, and I see nothing much has changed. I like PE as well. I like to see my friends. I didn't like going to the bookshop.
Why?
Well, I wasn't much of a reader, but I used to love to buy erasers. Do you guys know the erasers with the flags of the different countries? Yeah. So I used to love buying that, and then we'll play for friends. So I am a professor at Nanyang Technological University.
Why did you want to become a teacher?
Well, I was really inspired by some of my own teachers who touched my life. So I hope to do some of that touching of people's lives as well, and hope to inspire my own students.
What do you enjoy most about teaching?
Yeah, so interacting with students and listening to students, because sometimes they think of things that I have never thought of before, and just hearing things. Everyone has a story. Everyone comes from different backgrounds. You have different perspectives. You have different experiences to share. So learning from students is something I really enjoy about teaching actually.
So looking at this classroom setup now, is it similar to your own classroom from childhood?
No, not at all. I mean, I'm not that old. I hope. Yeah, but mine was a bit more similar to their classrooms. Of course, your classroom, the stuff would be newer, more high-tech.
Yeah.
Mine would be a bit more old school, yeah. Not as old school as this.
So now we're going to take a look at some photos from the 50s and 60s. Okay, these photos are from the National Library and National Archives of Singapore, and they're of some old classrooms. Okay, so here's the first photo. So this photo was actually taken in the 1950s. So you can see the classroom looks a bit different. What are some of the differences that you see from the ones that you
Have a lot of students.
have a lot more students than normal?
The tables and chairs are made of wood.
Yeah, so it looks a bit more similar to what we have here, right? Okay, so next photo. How about this photo? What do you all think about it?
The students are not wearing uniform.
Oh, you all recognize that really quickly. So this next photo maybe looks a bit more familiar or a bit more similar to the school that you have
Isn't
now.
it like the same floor?
Yeah, and the classrooms may be a bit similar as well. This was quite similar to the classroom
Yeah.
I had. So actually in the 1950s and 60s, this is when Singapore was getting its independence, right? It was becoming independent. So lots of schools were being built. And when there are lots of schools being built, what do you also need a lot of?
Teachers!
Yes, that's right. So they also needed more teachers. So why do you think there are more schools being built during this period?
For kids to study.
Yeah.
That's right, because the government saw that education was really important. So they were like, okay, we need to create more spaces where children could come and learn. So during this period, there were also some very interesting ways that the government was trying to educate these young Singaporeans. And that was through the use of campaign. So one of them is a very famous elephant. This elephant represents sharing and caring.
Let's see.
Okay, so this is like Sharity the elephant, the mascot of Community Chest, and represented sharing and caring. Okay, so there's one more mascot I want to show you, which is this one.
Singa.
Singa!
Singa.
Wow, you know
Singa.
Singa?
What do you know about Singa?
Kindness.
Kindness.
Yes.
Yeah. So Singa was actually the mascot for the kind of grandfather of the Singapore Kindness Movement, which was the National Courtesy Campaign. Okay, so there were a lot of other interesting campaigns in which the government and schools tried to teach children to grow and build good habits. So one of them was called the Road Safety Campaign. But when there are more cars on the roads, that also means there are more car accidents as well, right? So basically in the 1960s, the government was like, okay, we need to teach everybody how to be safer on the roads, and especially for young children, how to walk safely and behave safely while navigating these very dangerous cars, right? So y'all are very curious about this place, right? So this is the very first road safety park that was opened in Kallang in 1966. Okay, you'll be given the role of a pedestrian. Then there were also cyclists.
People who cycle.
And there were also drivers.
People who drive the cars.
Yeah. So it means that if you were a kid and you came to this park, you'll be given one of these roles, even though you're a child. So even though you're a kid, you can't drive, right? But here they had these special cars that kids would be able to go inside and then ride around. Sounds fun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted driver or cyclist, but my teacher made me a pedestrian. Yeah, so I had to do pedestrian and just walk around. You just walk around the park while you see your classmates cycling and driving.
For this next portion, we'll be talking about our teeth. Can everyone show me your teeth? Is it difficult to take care of your teeth?
No.
No?
No.
Easy.
Easy?
Brush your teeth twice a day.
So basically in the 1960s, right, the children then unfortunately didn't know as much as you about taking care of their teeth. So actually at that time, apparently half of Singaporeans weren't taking care of their teeth. And half of all school children didn't even have a toothbrush. So the government knew about this. So they were like, okay, so I think we should introduce a dental health campaign. So this started in 1969 and basically brought teaching about teeth into schools, which means that students were taking lessons about toothbrushing and about dental care. So what happens when you eat too many sweets and you don't brush your teeth?
Cavities.
Cavity, that's right. So maybe there were quite a few cavities in the past. And another competition was also a competition between teachers. Who would be the teacher who can teach toothbrushing the best?
Oh.
I wonder how they judge how well a teacher teaches toothbrushing, right? Which class has the least cavities?
Yeah, maybe.
But that was one of the competitions that was around.
Wow.
So next up, I'm going to show you a picture. You need to let me know if you can guess what these people are drinking, okay? Take a look and pass it down. Feels quite yummy, right?
They're drinking milk.
Why do you think they'd be drinking milk?
Make their teeth good.
Make their teeth good, yeah.
Bone
Yeah.
strong.
Bone strong, that's right, because milk's very healthy, right?
Yeah.
In 1974, the government launched the school milk scheme. There was lots of malnutrition in school children. Do you know what malnutrition might mean?
They don't have much nutrition.
Correct, that's right. So they need it to be healthier, right? And because milk is so healthy, like you said, the 150 milliliters milk packets were given to them in school. Okay, so we talked a little bit about how school and campaigns were like in the 50s and 60s, right? So shall we jump forward in time to the 80s and 90s? So now we'll talk a little bit and compare experiences about how it's like inside the classroom.
Yeah, so we had this blackboard, right? The chalkboard. The teacher would write using chalk and then the chalk gets smaller and shorter.
Do you use blackboards?
No.
Just whiteboards?
And markers.
And markers. Are there also other devices that you use?
We use mini whiteboards also.
Mini whiteboards? What are mini whiteboards? Oh, as in you have mini whiteboards that you write and then you flash your answer like that.
So everybody has one.
Yeah, everybody.
Oh.
It's like a game show. Okay, so now I want to talk a little bit about subjects. But what are some of your favorite subjects?
I like PE and I like PE.
You like PE and mother tongue?
I like PE, math.
Math. Oh.
Sometimes English, story writing. I don't like
Story
story.
writing is
nice.
fun, yeah.
Yeah, that's fun.
I see that PE is going 3 for 3 here in terms of a favorite subject.
4 for 4.
4 for 4?
You?
I can't make it a 5 for 5. So what about PE is it that you all really love? Because I don't fully
You
understand.
get to run around, you get to play football. Yeah, you get to play sports.
I always found PE quite sweaty. I think that was mainly why I didn't really fully enjoy it. Like, you go and you run around, you're like, oh, it's really hot. And then you need to go back to class and study after that.
Yeah.
Can you guess when it was? When was the very first PE lesson?
1970s.
Earlier.
1960s.
Earlier.
90s.
Earlier.
1940s.
Okay, so 1920s is actually one of the earliest records of PE lessons, but
I said it.
well done, Rina. So this PE wasn't actually conducted in all schools. It was actually only in the 1950s that teachers were taught specially about how to be PE teachers. So we talked a little bit about school, but have I missed anything out?
Sports Day.
Sports Day?
Sports Day.
So Sports Day is when the whole school comes together and takes a break from lessons and everyone participates in races, right? And so in school, sometimes we're all separated into houses as well. I was. Are you in a house?
Yeah.
What house are you in?
Yellow.
Yellow. How about you, Mr. Walid? Were you in a house?
I wasn't. I was. It was by class. Sports day was by class.
So it's class pride,
Yeah,
class versus
yes.
class. I guess now what they do is that they tend to mix people up in classes.
Which makes sense. Then you get to mix with people from
yeah,
other.
yeah, which is also very enjoyable. But Sports Day was a great way for students to build teamwork and a spirit of unity with each other. So maybe let's take a look at some interesting races that happened during Sports Days. This is the first photo I'm going to show you. Can you see what he's doing? He's running, right? But he's running with something on his head.
Running with a book on.
It's actually a plank of wood.
Oh.
So it's like he needs to balance the wood as he runs down.
Holding it.
Yeah, he's
So
cheating.
he's not doing the correct things. Actually, we see a boy in the background, he's doing the correct thing. But this boy, I think, was falling, then he was trying to correct it.
So if it drops, you go back. It drops, you go back.
You need to balance it.
Yeah, balance. So this is the picture of the boy balancing the plank on his head and trying to win the race. Okay, next one.
I can't see.
This is a
It's a set race.
sack race.
Oh, I need to.
Now see?
I need to wear this
Professor
one. Then
Rokawa?
need to jump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've done it before?
No.
But you've seen it before.
Yeah.
So you wear it and jump. Then it's very hard because you'll fall.
It's super hard. I've done it before and I keep falling.
Yeah.
Okay, this one might be a little bit more familiar. Okay, so he's jumping, right? He's jumping, and actually the next photo is also similar to what is being done. So it's actually a hurdle race. Do you know what a hurdle is? A hurdle, so when you're racing, hurdles are like little blocks that are put down so they jump over. Yeah, so it makes it even more difficult to win the race.
So you run, jump. 400 meters.
Okay, this race is very interesting. I've never seen this race
I've never
before.
seen this before.
Pass it down. So here you can see there's a doll here, right? And a girl who is doing something with the doll. She's actually dressing the doll. So this is a race to see who can dress the doll the fastest. So the person who finishes it first wins. Isn't that a very interesting race? One more photograph. So it's not the exact same race that we're doing today, but we're using elements of this race. So this is actually the egg and spoon race, which is I think quite an iconic sports day race. So today we'll also be doing an activity where we'll be racing with eggs and spoons. But we won't be putting them in our mouths, we'll be holding them in our hands and doing our best to keep the egg on the spoon and getting to the finish line the first. Are you all ready? So let's get to it.
So are you guys ready?
Yeah.
You don't sound ready. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
On your marks, get set, go! Okay, round of applause to everyone. So all of you did well. Yes, reading is important, but trying our best is the most important thing, right? So all of you tried your best. So
It's not easy.
it's not easy. Yeah, you were struggling the whole time.
Yes, I was.
Thank you, Mr. Walid. I learned that school was so different in the past.
And I learned that memories made in school really do stay with us throughout the years.
I'm excited for school again. Can't wait to see all my friends at school.
And that wraps up our show for today. Thank you everyone for joining us on
The Time Traveling Trio!
We're heading off for our next adventure, so stay tuned.
Bye!